It's the question that everyone asks themselves when they first experience depersonalization. Am I going crazy? Hey everyone, I'm Sean O'Connor, author of the Depersonalization Manual. I suffered with chronic depersonalization for 2 years before I recovered completely. And in the more than 10 years since, I've helped thousands of people around the world to recover with my book, The Depersonalization Manual. And today, I'm going to show you the 3 reasons why, even with intense depersonalization, you're not going crazy. Let's get started. The fear of going crazy is super common with depersonalization. Your mind is filled with racing thoughts, intense self-analysis, and weird existential fears. Thoughts that are usually perfectly normal and everyday can seem suddenly bizarre. You might feel like there's something very wrong with your brain. Back when I had depersonalization, I was constantly having thoughts that I was going crazy. For example, I'd look at my dog, and instead of feeling happy or comforted, I'd start to wonder how such an animal could possibly exist. What was it thinking? What was its consciousness like? I'd have philosophical, existential thoughts about things like the size of the universe, and that would terrify me. These kind of thoughts would hit me over and over, hundreds of times a day. It took the joy out of everything. It was unbearable. I was absolutely terrified that I was going crazy, that I was developing psychosis or schizophrenia. I really believed that eventually I'd go completely insane and I'd have to spend my life in a mental hospital. This fear is incredibly common with depersonalization sufferers. So before we go any further, here's the good news. You are absolutely not going crazy, insane, or anything even remotely like that. And I'm about to tell you why in 3 simple steps. Number 1, depersonalization is a defense mechanism. The feelings of depersonalization can be really scary. I mean, really scary. When you think horrible thoughts like reality isn't real or you're living in a dream, that can be terrifying. It almost feels like you're under attack from your own mind, right? But what if I told you that you're definitely not under attack? In fact, what you're feeling and thinking is part of your body and brain's natural defense mechanism. That's right. Depersonalization is a defense mechanism that kicks in at times of trauma. This may have happened because of drugs, violence, a car accident, etc. But it doesn't matter what caused it. The end result is exactly the same. The feelings of being cut off from the world, like you're in a dream, etc., are your brain's way of protecting you from what it thinks is a dangerous situation. This happens to people, briefly, all the time. According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, it's estimated that up to 75% of people will experience at least one depersonalization episode in their lives. But unfortunately, for an unlucky few, like myself, and according to the Guardian newspaper, 1 in 50 others, it can last longer and become depersonalization disorder. But DP is still recognized in the medical community as a natural reaction to trauma. So no matter how long you've had it, it's still your brain's defensive mechanism. And the simple fact is that a defensive mechanism is there to keep you safe. It's never going to make you go crazy. In fact, worrying that DP is going to make you go crazy is like worrying that a fire alarm is going to start a fire. Number 2, depersonalization is often interpreted as something it's not. The feelings of depersonalization are designed to help you through trauma. Think of them like an airbag for your mind. Now, typically the feelings fade away naturally once you're away from the traumatic situation. But if you continue to experience depersonalization into your normal daily life, as happens with many people, well, then it becomes a problem. Because if you're sitting in your kitchen and experiencing unexplained feelings of detachment and unfamiliarity, that, of course, makes the anxiety worse, which makes your brain turn up the depersonalization even more to protect itself. So you're sitting in your kitchen and suddenly your mind feels out of control, having all sorts of weird existential thoughts. Well, what's the first thing you would think? You must be going crazy, right? I thought the same thing. Believe me, everyone who gets depersonalization at some point thinks that same thing. But you're not going crazy. Yes, it's a strange and sometimes very frightening experience, but it can't hurt you. You're 100% safe. Number 3, reality testing. Okay, so here's the most important part of all of this. Depersonalization is not dangerous, and here's the scientific reason why. Even when you're having the most intense, frightening depersonalization thoughts, what's known as your reality testing remains intact. This is vital. In psychiatric terms, reality testing is the objective evaluation of an emotion or thought against real life. What this basically means is that even with the most frightening thoughts, you're able to distinguish between the thoughts and reality. In fact, it's the knowing that the thoughts are so strange that makes them so frightening. You know that you shouldn't be having these strange thoughts while you're trying to go about your day. But no matter how frightening these thoughts can be, during the depersonalization or derealization experiences, reality testing remains intact. Why? Because again, depersonalization is just an anxiety-based condition. And that's all it ever will be. If anything, with depersonalization, your awareness of reality is too heightened because of the fight or flight hyper-awareness that the anxiety causes. Sure, there's lots of weird, frightening, existential thoughts, but they don't mean anything. They're temporary and they can't hurt you. The most important thing to remember here is that all of it, the anxiety, the depersonalization, the fear that you're going insane, all of these things are nothing more than your body's natural reaction to what it perceives to be a dangerous or traumatic situation. You're absolutely 100% not going crazy. Understanding this was a huge step in my recovery from depersonalization, and it will be in yours too. And I understand, it's a frightening experience. I understand that more than anyone. But just remember that you are safe and you're not going crazy, insane, or anything even remotely like that. Because ultimately, is depersonalization dangerous, either mentally or physically? No, of course not. As scary as it can be, depersonalization is just your natural defense mechanism. It's a protective habit of thought. That's all. It's not dangerous, it can't hurt you, and it certainly can't make you go crazy. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any comments or questions, just leave them in the comment section below and I'll make sure to answer and help out. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you found this video helpful, please do like and share. And one last thing, if you want tons more information on depersonalization recovery, check out my website at dpmanual.com, where you'll find everything you need to know, including my complete guide to recovery, the Depersonalization Manual. Thanks for watching, guys.